Hey, hey, welcome back to Nuts and Major Truth. I am your only host on this show. It is, I believe it's Thursday morning, almost Friday, one day closer to the playoffs starting. Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. I'll be busy. How's everybody doing this morning? Whoops. Looks like y'all can't chat. Anyway, before we get started, obviously I'm going to start off with a music video. This is from the 80s, so it's a little bit older than, well, actually, it's not older than most of us. Rewind, just kidding. But we're going to talk about a few things today. We're going to talk about, obviously, some of the shit we've been talking about. Fraud, Somalia, Seattle, and some more Venezuela. And we're going to see a AI version of what the attack may or may not have looked like, with plenty of rock drills. So I know they knew what they were doing. Planning, training, train as you fight. But before we get all that, anyway, I'm not going to tell you have to get all your shit to drink, coffee, food. That was last year. You guys know better. You're all adults. Should all be adults, unless you're on your parents' YouTube. Then there's a bigger issue. Anyway, enjoy this song for you. I'll be right back, and yeah. Well, you know what it means when I pause in the middle of the song, don't ya? It means YouTube. YouTube is having a fit. Wow. It's okay. It's okay. So we're going to start off with, we're going to look at the Quality Learning Center, which we're going to look at some of the graduates from the Quality Learning Center that graduated within the past maybe 20 years, 30 years. Let's get into it.
Hello, peasants. I'm the drinker of the house, and I'm here to tell you about the future of Minnesota childcare. Welcome to the Quality Learning Center.
So like 6 years ago, I was just like a bartender who graduated with like honors from the Quality Learning Center. And like now, I'm a congresswoman who can like totally count all the way to 11.
At Quality Learning
11.
Center, your unborn kids get the care that they deserve. Here in Minnesota, our motto is, why wait until your kids are born? Sign them up for an education today. Y'all finna learn everything up in here.
Good enough.
I learned that 2 plus 2 equal whatever feels right, y'all. This place made me who I am today, fam. It's where I got my education. Here at Quality Learning Center, you'll
Except for
find invisible
education was
shoe
high
boxes,
class.
phantom crash, ghostly nutmats, non-existent circle time rugs, and an attendance sheet with nobody's name on it.
With no kids in the classroom, there's so much more room for activities. Look at what I can do!
We accept prenatal enrollments. Never too
Think
early
they
to
take
secure
EBT?
your spot in this thriving educational paradise. Think of the invisible children.
Hell, most of my voters graduated from Quality Learning Center.
I believe it.
Not a joke.
With over $4 million in generous taxpayer support, your imaginary children will get the education they deserve.
And the best part is you can sniff the kids and you won't even get in trouble.
At Quality Learning Center, we've mastered the art of invisible learning. No messy creds, no tantrums, no actual children. Just pure, efficient, whatever this is.
At Quality Learning Center, this is what success looks like. I've created advanced
He's a Mexican.
efficiency, and I'm making Minnesota great. One imaginary child at a time. No snacks, no tantrums, no problem.
Quality Learning Center is helping our community thrive by keeping things discreet. Your tax dollars are going to important causes, quiet buildings, unanswered phones, and dreams of what could be. We're building a brighter future for Somalia.
Here at Quality Learning Center, your imaginary kids won't have to worry about things like washing their heads. Because we ain't got no kids up in here.
I totally love Somalia. I just wish I was from Somalia. I want to turn Minneapolis into
And
Somalia.
we have a perfect safety record. No fights, no lice, no lawsuits. Hell, we don't even have crayons.
We got robbed last night. They took everything, but they didn't take the children.
When those nosy parents start asking questions, it's mostly because they're racist.
I pledge allegiance to the Somalian flag
Oh, wait.
of the United States of Minnesota and to our Somalian president, wherever you stand, more daycares, under fraud, clearly visible, with bribery and corruption for all.
All right. Okay. So we've taken care of that part right there, right? So, Quality Learning Center. Hold on. Why does it feel off-centered? The Quality Learning Center has quite a few graduates. I know. Maybe I was a graduate of the Quality Learning Center, but in a different country, different state. Maybe I was in a Mexican Learning Center when I was in Arizona. Because I lived with a Mexican babysitter for 2 years. 2 years while my parents were in Germany. That's wild. Maybe I'm illegal. I mean, I'm totally legal. I'm not an anchor baby. Anyway, let's go talk to a politician who says he wants to fight Maha. He says he wants to be he's into fitness. Fitting that cheeseburger in his fucking mouth.
I've recently gotten a ton of negative attention online about my weight.
Wait for it.
Why is that?
You can tell by
don't
the
seem
face.
that big. Holy ahem. Okay, yeah, I can see why. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Democrat Benjamin Shower running for a House seat in Iowa. Let's see what we can learn about
not
him from
big
his
in Iowa.
website. All right. Holding a better Iowa. We can make this happen. How about the issues? The system isn't broken. It was designed by those with power to work this way.
So it is
Is he
broken.
talking about his website? Yada, yada, yada. Responsible health care. Should someone who doesn't care for their health have anything to say about responsible health care?
Right.
Man, healthcare for all Iowans, regardless of where they live, and I want to revitalize our rural communities.
He clearly doesn't put health as a priority. So he could be the inverse of what he wants to run on. He was actually on my flight on the way here, and he asked for a airplane extender, which I've never heard of. And the pilot goes, "We're going to be flying at an altitude of," oops, maybe not.
Never mind. Well, I remember
His shirt is one load of.
When was this? 2010, 2011. Coming back for R&R from Iraq, and the plane we took from Kansas City to Manhattan, Kansas, couldn't go above a certain altitude. That was weird, but it didn't matter to me. I slept on the plane ride over there because I just finished coming from Iraq all the way to the States. It's all right. I fucking slept. It's kind of weird that we couldn't go above a certain altitude because, well, we wouldn't be able to breathe.
Laundry. I'll stop now, but
we will not go silently into fascism.
Oh
no! No kings now, and no kings
Dude, what's his
forever.
bigger, t-shirt or
By
the tent
kings,
behind
does
him?
he mean treadmills? Sorry, I know, I couldn't resist. Anyway, Shower released a long letter slamming.
You like how he had a shirt that says, or no kings, or whatever the fuck it said. I bet you he loves Burger King.
People making fun of his gargantuan
I like
size. I'm not reading all that. How about this? Cheap shots like this campaign are just that. Cheap. Well, you know what else is cheap? Membership to Planet Fitness.
If you like pies and or progressive politics, do I have the event for you. Join me on Sunday, December the 7th for my kickoff campaign event for the Iowa House of Representatives, District 15, with my Pies for Progress fundraiser.
I mean, at least it's not cake, I guess. A little background on Benjamin here. This isn't his first time running for this seat. He got beaten pretty badly in 2024 by this guy, Republican Matt Winschittle, who is now preparing to run for a congressional seat. So if Shower can secure the nomination again, he will likely be running against a new Republican. One who's running is this guy, who has the greatest political logo of all time. So we will be keeping a close eye on this
That town
race.
in Iowa's fucked.
My God, it looks like he can easily eat her.
We know that obesity is a major issue in this country, and I'm clearly part of that, as are a lot of my friends and family, and a lot of your friends and family.
You know, if he wants to be technical about it, yeah, a lot of Americans are obese by the medical system. I'm obese. I am obese. I don't see it.
something I don't think anyone's touched on is that guy's penis.
That, as are a lot of my friends and family, and a lot of your friends and family.
You know, something I don't think anyone's touched on is that guy's penis.
So being on Fox News was not on my 2025 bingo card, nor was having them speculate about my genitalia.
Aaron, he could be our next Pritzker.
He could be, yes.
I need new blood.
Oh, I mean,
I lost that guy in New Jersey.
He put out like a 6-paragraph statement
Wait,
about how he struggled.
Pritzker the one where RFK Jr. is like, oh, we'll get you doing push-ups
with his weight, and the American people can, they know what this is like. No, you got to own this kind of moment, because instead I just feel really bad for him. And he could have made it really funny and had a great moment of it,
but he
and
didn't.
like really let a narrative on it. Instead, now it's just ick.
He's like a Iowan version of Peter Griffin, just not as funny. He actually may be fatter than Peter Griffin. All right.
I know it's difficult.
So, freedom of speech, a First Amendment, a great thing. First Amendment, freedom of speech on the internet, even better. Why would we limit Americans' free speech? Who would want to limit Americans' free speech? Wait, is this guy from Israel?
Here, but it's time to limit the First Amendment in order to protect it. And quickly before it's too late.
Here we go again with people wanting to chop down the First Amendment to save us all. You know what I never need to hear again? A guy with an accent telling me my freedom doesn't matter.
Get vaccinated, to wear masks. Well, my freedom is being kind of disturbed here. No, screw your freedom.
Anyway, back to Shlomo.
What do you mean?
I mean that we need to control the platforms. All the social platforms, we need to stack rank the authenticity of every person that...
So government control over our platforms. Didn't we have that already?
expresses themselves online and take control over what they are saying based on that ranking.
The government.
The government should
control social media.
Yeah, should do that.
We're okay with what this guy is saying? Sure sounds like another guy who recently called for the exact same thing.
If people go to only one source, and the source they go to is sick, and has an agenda, and they're putting out disinformation, our First Amendment stands as a major block to the ability to be able to just, hammer it out of existence.
Shlomo's concern seems to be about
Oh,
AI being
Shlomo.
indistinguishable from reality. But a statement like this...
It's time to limit the First Amendment in order to protect it.
...should end the conversation. No, no, no. And we shouldn't accept this kind of rhetoric from any person who seeks public office or seeks influence in this country.
We will hold social media platforms accountable for the hate infiltrating their platforms because they have a responsibility to help fight against this threat to our democracy. They are
By hate, she only means if you go against black people or illegal immigrants, I'm going to rephrase that, Israel.
Speaking to millions and millions of people without any level of oversight or regulation.
So we need
that
oversight.
has to stop.
There's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or hate speech, and especially around our democracy.
Hey, listen, first of all, hate speech is 100% free speech. If it wasn't, everybody would get arrested or ticketed for saying anything remotely racist. Like if a white person says, you might get deported, be careful. Can I say that's racist and arrest them? It's hate speech. And you don't want it to be free speech. Wait a minute. Has everybody in this video been white? Yeah. Oh no, Harris. Well, Harris is white, right?
Idea that saying that Pennsylvania was rigged or that we were trying to steal the election, unquote, that's a lie.
It
And
actually
that
isn't.
you do not have the right. That is not protected speech. No one, Republican, Democrat, whatever, has the right to say those kind of incendiary lies.
We should have free speech, but if you're inciting violence, if you're causing people not to take vaccines, where are those boundaries that even the U.S.
I'm glad he said that. So when those 6 congresswomen came out, talked bad about, you can disobey illegal orders. They were inciting a mutiny. Well, they were just informing you guys. Oh, by the way, I'm glad I mentioned that. Timmy boy, Tampon Tim, how are you doing today? I heard you're thinking about activating your National Guard. You're thinking about activating your National Guard to protect Minnesotans from law enforcement? ICE? Fraud investigators? That's a weird thing to do. Makes you look even more guilty. Now, with that being said, oh shit. When you activate these Guard members, do they have to follow your illegal orders? According to your party, they don't have to follow your orders. But also, the president supersedes you, since he is in charge of the entire military force of the United States of America, against all enemies, foreign and domestic. You just called for a civil war, but it's okay. The media's not going to run with that. It's no biggie.
Should have rules.
Keep that garbage in places like
Wait
Germany,
a
a modern
minute.
day totalitarian.
Huh? They're talking about a civil war when the big government tries to trample on the little government. Not slavery. Yeah.
hellhole.
German law prohibits any speech that could incite hatred or is deemed insulting.
Bro.
Is it a crime to insult somebody in
Do you
public?
know how many times I would talk shit to Germans? Especially when they almost hit my car. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I never got arrested. Or ticketed.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's a crime to insult them online as well?
Yes.
The fine could be even higher if you insult someone in the internet.
Why? Yeah,
that's why you use the
Because
VPN in
in
Germany to
internet,
talk shit.
it stays there. If we are talking here face to face, you insult me, I insult you, okay, finish. But if you in the internet, if I insult you or a politician,
That sticks around forever.
yeah.
If somebody posts something that's not true, and then somebody else reposts it or likes it, are they committing a crime?
Yeah, in the case of reposting, it is a crime as well.
How do people react?
I would get banned for reposting certain things from like NIH or Robert Malone. You know, if I reposted anything like that remotely, yeah, just a repost.
React when you take their phones from them?
Tell me about the pain. I want to hear about how much it hurts.
Free speech needs boundaries. Without boundaries, a very small group of people can rely on endless freedom to say anything that they want.
Oh no, the horror!
Wait a minute. So she's saying we need boundaries. Does that mean she supports borders? Which one is this?
I'm Christina.
Oh, wait, hold on. I think I just get this out of order. Why is Tim Waltz up there? All right, we'll place. I don't know why I didn't put this with the other Tim Waltz section.
Ohio and Dallas, and here are your top stories. The governor of Maine is tied to a Somali.
Oh, that's why, because this is the lawyer.
Accused of a multi-million-dollar
Governor of Maine. Governor of Maine. Who had some suspicious financial activity under her watch. Does she benefit from it? No, not at all.
And registering illegal migrants to vote. Gateway Community Services, GCS, founded by Somali migrant Abdullahi Ali, has been hit with serious fraud allegations, including billing for services never provided and falsifying records. Reports are popping up that GCS was given no-bid contracts by Democrat Governor Janet Mills' administration and was allegedly registering migrants to vote during benefit enrollments, solidifying elections for Democrats. GCS claims the accusations are racist. Whistleblowers and federal investigations exposed GCS's operation.
Finding fraud is racist. Fuck. Well, I guess I'm racist again.
Ali, who arrived in Maine from a Kenyan refugee camp in 2016 and built GCS into a multi-million-dollar entity, has been accused of stealing.
Who also came over here from a Kenyan refugee camp? Ilhan Omar.
To inflate his business and fund a paramilitary force in his native Somalia as he vied for political power in the Jubaland region. Maine taxpayers, meanwhile, are left footing the bill for what critics call a Democrat-enabled scheme to import and empower a dependent voting bloc. That's what you need to know in Dallas.
Oh. You mean that wasn't Minneapolis? That's weird. So you mean it wasn't Minnesota either? But it was a whole nother state in the United States that this was happening. No. It can't be. This is propaganda. You know what else is propaganda? This. Because you mean to tell me it's happening in Washington State?
I was wondering if I could get an application for my son. Would that be possible?
Oh shit.
The first one that we visited was Aisha Home Child Care.
My decoy and I went to Aisha Home Child Care in Kent, Washington, and she got inside. A corresponding page for Aisha Home Child Care on the state expenditure website indicates that this place has raked in $753,000 $1,053 since 2022. We matched the address on the business card given to us with records for an Aisha Home Childcare on the Department of Children, Youth, and Families website for Washington State. The DCYF indicates that this place only serves 2 children. Their licensed capacity is 12, and they have 10 available slots, reflecting that this place only babysits 2 kids. But they're raking in $753,000?
Yeah.
Even if this was, let's assume for a second, a legitimate daycare business that's only serving 2 children, there is no world where the government should be giving almost $1 million or $750,000 in subsidies to this place. On the inside, my decoy did see children. There was a small room inside of this person's house that was outfitted to look like a daycare. My decoy indicated that these children looked like they very well could have just been the person who was living there's children. The owner took a while to answer the door. My decoy said she heard rustling, children crying, and then when she walked in, there were the children, all standing in the daycare room, the playroom, not as if they were playing, just standing there leering at my decoy. She told me that not a single toy was out of place. This wasn't as if these children were just playing with toys and at daycare. It seemed that they were just placed in that room because there was a visitor. Now, I went through the licensing history of Aisha Home Childcare, and in 2016, they had a name change or modification that expired their license. In 2018, they moved, which corresponds exactly with the fact that I can't find any funding for this place prior to 2018. I could, however, find funding for the owner, Sarah Molin, who between 2021 and 2023 raked in $113,667 from the Department of Children, Youth, and Families, $257,078 between 2019 and 2021, and then was apparently receiving social and health benefits of $12,343 between 2017 and 2019, and $23,369 between 2013 and 2015, making a total of $1.1 million in taxpayer subsidies since 2013. Now, I'd like to be very clear. The way this appears to me is this person went from being on welfare to living in one of the nicer neighborhoods in that area, what appeared to be a very new development in a very large house, and raking in over $1 million for what right now appears to be 2 kids. How does that happen? Now, if this could potentially be a legitimate daycare business, why is the government giving them so much money, even if they were a legitimate daycare business? I mean, just look at the first figure, $268,460 since July of 2025. If we're being generous for 2 kids, that's $22,300.
I believe, because it was $26,000 20 years ago to enlist and train a new soldier for enlistment, physical, and then basic training. And the Army spent more than $1 million on training me.
$171 per child. What daycare makes this kind of money per kid in 1 month? And the worst part is it's not the money of the parents. It's your money. Your tax dollars.
Tell me what that looks like.
I want to be very clear. Nobody inside the house physically came to the door, but they spoke to us through the Ring doorbell. We asked numerous times if this place was Dagash, childcare. We asked if they had a daycare in there, if there were any kids in there. It was no, 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 every single time.
My decoy went up.
You
could hear people rustling around on the other side of the Ring camera as if they were listening to her but not responding.
Kristen Magnuson and I also went to this house right after you guys to see if we get the same response, and we sort of did. We saw the same thing, the windows with vinyl covering, can't see inside. We ring the doorbell, but actually somebody responds to us. Hey, is this Dagash Family Childcare?
Yeah. So in 2018, just for the Army alone, it was between $55,000 to $74,000. That's just the Army. That's fucking wild. 1 kid costs more than training a soldier.
No. It's not Dagash Family Childcare.
No.
Okay, what's the name of the child care here? I ask, has this place ever been a child care? The woman says no. But obviously Washington state records tell a completely different story.
Yeah, this specific address is locked into Washington state records as a daycare.
Yeah.
It's locked into like the Google paid for the business.
Yep.
Is this address.
And it's up to date with
Google
numbers here.
Okay, so we just visited Dagash Family Child Care. This address was...
You know, with all these undercover journalists, like this woman right here, obviously, they couldn't find a young black woman. You know, that might help. I'm just saying. And why don't they ever bring a kid with them? I mean, it sounds fucked up, yeah. But it would make a little more realistic that you're looking for a daycare. Or just get a tiny, tiny person.
Confirmed online. They get $23,260 in October.
They have made $210,000 just this year.
And how many kids again is this place registered for?
Oh, that's the fun part. 3.
3 kids.
So this place are licensed for 9 children.
Okay, so this place is licensed for 9,
but they have 6 slots available.
Right.
Which means they only have 3 kids, and they've raked in $210,000 in tax money.
And neighbors say when we ask them, have you ever seen kids come out of this place?
Not a single one.
Not a single one.
So this woman comes up. The people who live there actually texted her
Weird, they
as a
make
neighbor
money in a year, then
and asked her to confront us because they thought we were ICE. So the next question is, are they illegal immigrants? Why are they so concerned about ICE?
Jeez, that's another rabbit trail.
A total other rabbit hole. But what she said,
whenever I got deployed, I made $50,000.
I have seen no evidence that there is a daycare there. She actually said, my husband and I were wondering how those people afford that house because she said the rent was $3,500 a month.
I haven't seen kids over there.
Okay, interesting.
I have seen, I've seen one child over there, like when they have like family things.
Right, yeah.
But no, I have not seen any evidence of daycare activity there.
They're licensed for 9 kids only. They have 6 available slots according to the Department of Children, Youth, and Families, or they did at least have 6 available slots. We'll get into that in a second. That means that they had 3 kids enrolled. 3 kids. So,
like he said, maybe
$250,000 in 2023.
They say they're outpacing Americans by having children. And they have a lot of children. So, in theory, they're getting paid to watch their own kids.
While having 3 enrolled kids. $26,000 in November, 3 enrolled kids. Now, what's interesting is we talked about this earlier. The slot availability for Dagash Family Child Care on the Department of Children, Youth, and Families website is gone. It mysteriously disappeared. It's been removed. It's blank. It's not 0, it's blank.
And we called the owner of the daycare, at least the name and the phone number that's listed on the state website, and no one picked up. There's also a litany of inspection violations here at Dagash. What did you find?
One of the big things was insufficient materials for the children to play with, and then also plastic wrap or plastic material on the shelving in the daycare area, which seems to be consistent with this thing was just kind of popped up. That's my theory, at least, and that's my opinion. I'm not saying that as a fact, but it appears to me that maybe this whole thing was just popped up.
The inspection record also indicates that some of the blinds had cords that could wrap around the necks of infants, rugs that were improperly rolled, tripping hazard, and also electrical outlets that were exposed, so a kid, in theory, could get electrocuted. So you have all of these violations, and on top of that, the inspector said in the documents that it appeared there weren't enough toys. So it was really a situation where even the inspector noted it may not have looked like normal daycare.
The next place that I went to was Hilauli Safia Child Care. All right, we are at Hilauli Safia Child Care Center in Kent, Washington. They have received $863,000 since 2023. I don't see any signs right off the bat that it's a child care facility. There's no car seats, there's no children's toys, nothing like that. So we're gonna go in and we're gonna check it out.
appointment.
Hi, is this Halali childcare? No. There's no childcare here? Okay, got it. Thank you so much. Have a good one. There's no childcare. All right, guys, we were just at Halali, what's allegedly Halali Child Care Center in Kent, Washington, which is right behind me right here. We went up to the door, the exact address listed on the state website, receiving over $800,000 in 2023. They claim there's no child care here.
A couple $100,000 for the cars.
I went and tried to ask the neighbors if there was daycare there. Nobody answered, but I could see the people who lived in that house peeling the curtains back because just like all of the other places, all the curtains were drawn, you couldn't see in or anything. They're peeling the curtains back and watching me as I walk around to the neighbors' houses, and they're scrambling and yelling, and I can hear them. What's up with that? Pretty weird.
But the address has been removed from the Department of Children, Youth, and Families website, and the slot availability now says 0. So another situation where it appears somebody, whether it's a DCYF, the people who own the daycare, somebody somewhere is wiping the records for these places.
Just in the past few days. Just in the past few days.
Just in the past few days. We started this on December 29th, I think, and it's now January 3rd. So it really hasn't been that long.
Not even a week.
Not even a week. The next place I went to was Tawakkol Daycare. The residents freaked out.
Hi, is this Tawakkol Daycare? Yes. I was wondering if I could get an application for my son. Would that be possible?
You got a lot of how.
Can I get an application? Okay. So this is Tawakkol Daycare that's received over $100,000 since 2023. I went, knocked on the door, asked for an application. The younger woman yelled upstairs to the older woman and asked for an application or something. I couldn't tell what she was saying, speaking Somali. And the older woman came down the stairs yelling at her, "Why'd you open the door? Why'd you open the door? Why would you do that?" And then she slammed the door in my face. So very bizarre behavior for a legitimate daycare business that is not committing fraud to freak out and close the door on somebody requesting an application.
So here we have a very similar story. We have Tawakkol Daycare at the DCYF website owned by Guled Edo. They have a total licensed capacity of 9 kids, and they have 6 available slots, which means they only have 3 children.
6 and 9.
Okay.
Or
there's 2 Tawakkol daycares listed on the state expenditure website, one grossing $100,000 just since July. That was Tawakkol Family Child Care, which if we go back to their report, it seems that's the one because they're a family child care home. But we go back to the state expenditure website, and the other Tawakkol Daycare LLC has raked in.
Our daycare, shouldn't there be publicly accessible records on their rating, their inspections? I mean, you could probably FOIA those inspections.
$99,000. Again, just since July. Now, I don't think there should be any world where a daycare that is hosting only 3 children, possibly even the children of the people who own this place, possibly, should be raking in $100,000 in 6 months. I mean, what happened to businesses making money from the services they provide and sustaining their businesses through those profits? And their address is removed from the DCYF website. So another situation where it seems that records are being wiped by somebody. And it seems, in my opinion, this is just my personal assessment, to be coordinated. The next place that we went to was Ossel Family Childcare, and this is another one where we went together. This place has brought in $2.3 million in tax subsidies just since January of 2024. In January 2024, it was only like a $5,000 payment. So really since February. So that's just under 2 years.
Trump.
We got to this place, looked like crap. What did it look like?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, the street, there were, broken down vehicles surrounding the street. It was a blue collar neighborhood, and that's fine. But then the actual house where this daycare was allegedly being run, I mean, it looked like a shack.
Yeah, I just somewhere you would take your kids for daycare?
No, absolutely not. And we were with another dad, and his 2 kids. going up to these places, and
never
spoke
mind.
to the kids, and they even said they didn't want to go to daycare there. Yeah, so I think that's pretty telling.
Yeah, so I mean, it looked like a rundown crack shack in a bad part of town. I mean, it was in rough shape. It's certainly nowhere that I would take my children if I had any. I couldn't imagine anybody taking their children there. So you actually spoke to the person who was in this house, and tell me what they said.
Yeah, I mean, the person who was in this house came out in a hijab. She could barely speak any English, but simply said the owner wasn't there. We asked if there were any kids. She couldn't really answer that. But again, the same pattern of no application, owner isn't around, and they told us to come back, later on in the week.
Yeah, and we spoke to two neighbors at this place. You spoke to one, and I spoke to one.
Yeah, I spoke to the next door neighbor. I straight up asked him, "Have you seen kids here? Is there a daycare?" He's like, "I haven't."
Hey, do you guys know your neighbor here?
Who?
Your next door neighbor?
Why?
It's the Somali, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Do they run a daycare with children?
I have no idea about that.
Have you ever seen children at this house?
No.
No children.
I don't see any. I don't know.
Yep, and I spoke to another neighbor, and they said the same thing, that they're not aware of any daycare next door. I spoke to the neighbor on the other side than the one you spoke to. Yeah. I was just wondering if this is Osel Family Childcare?
No, it's not.
Is Osel Family Childcare around here?
Sure.
You don't know of any daycares around here?
Daycare?
Yeah. No?
The vast majority of these Somali daycares are home daycares. So I don't know if there are any requirements, but no signage.
That's funny because you look at the health care fraud that they're doing as well. They're home care centers, or home care companies. Businesses.
At virtually every single stop, no indication that kids are there, and at least some of the ones we went to were really in rundown parts of the city of Seattle.
Yeah, totally. Now the next one was an interesting one, and I think this is the last one that we physically visited that I wanted to talk about, and then there's a couple other ones that I wanted to mention related to political.
My kids ever got to a daycare was when they were doing the Head Start program. Head Start. Yeah. I was able to get all three of my kids in a Head Start. Weird, isn't it?
Donations. Al Nasib Family Early Learning. This place picked up on the camera, and they said it's not a daycare, right?
Yeah. So we first knocked on the door. We brought Matthew Adams, the dad who brought his kids. He genuinely wanted to know if he could enroll his two daughters. And we're knocking on the door. As we're walking away, we hear somebody on the
look at that door. Holy
saying,
shit.
"What do you want?" And we're like, "Where's this person?" And we realized there was a camera watching us the whole time. And when Matthew straight up asks, "Hey, is this a daycare?" The person behind this intercom video camera is like, "No." And he just wants to make sure that he heard correctly. He's like, "Are you saying this is not a daycare?" And he repeats the address of where we're at, and they're like, no daycare here. And we walked away.
Yeah, hi, my name's Matthew. I'm here for put in an application for daycare for my daughters. We just moved over here from Kitsap County. I'm sorry, I can barely hear you. This location, the 3903 South Austin Street, is not a daycare? No, it's not. Okay, sir. Thank you very much. Sorry to bother you. Have a nice day.
And again, another egregious example of a place that
look at this
clearly
guy
says on the state website, this is a daycare, but when we show up to door knock, even the people there in that house say it's not a daycare.
Yeah, and I spoke to two separate neighbors at this place individually.
You were going door to door.
I was going door to door, and every neighbor that I spoke to said that they were totally unaware of a daycare at this place. Hi, is this Al Nasib Daycare? No. No, it's not. Do you know if it's around here somewhere? No, I don't know. You've never heard of it? No. Okay, thank you. Hi, I was just wondering if this is Nasib Daycare?
No.
Do you know where that is at all?
Nope.
You
Sorry.
haven't seen any kids at any of the neighbors' houses?
I haven't obviously seen a daycare.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. This place has taken in $251,000, about $250,000 since 2023. As I was editing this video, I came across something insane. It appears that on the Department of Children, Youth, and Family website, the address for this place has been scrubbed. And now it says that it's based in Kent, Washington, not Seattle, where we visited. So what I noticed is that when these addresses get scrubbed, you can actually search the address on the DCYF website and the place will still pop up in search results despite the fact that the address isn't listed. It's like a remnant. So I did that for this place, and guess what came up? The Department of Revenue still has the original address in Seattle listed, but they claim the place is closed.
Oh.
Well, if they're closed, why did they rake in nearly $30,000 in the month of November? That's the most recently posted month for
They closed in
subsidy
December,
payouts.
that's why.
We'll know more in December. We'll find out if they got paid last month as well. But this is insane.
Ah, that was insane. Whew. We should be done with that. We should be done with that. I think we're moving on to, well, judging by that video, we're going to move on to a little bit about Venezuela. Venezuela. But to get us in the mood for Venezuela, we have this.
Trump the done. Out of retirement. Here we go. Hey. Maduro. I hear Mar-a-Lago, Melania calling me Big Papi Chula. Other the liver was hitting on me, best of Maduro es puta. Maduro. I hear Mar-a-Lago, Melania calling me Big Papi Chula. Other the liver was hitting on me, best of Maduro es puta. Maduro, you fat little commie clown. Sit down, shut up. Trump's gonna take your crap. Rolled up 3 a.m. Caracas, y'all they make a sound. Say another word, I promise that you won't be found. Took out the guards, your dogs ain't even bark. Could've done this in the day, we ain't need the dark. Threw you in the Black Hawk, quiet as a mouse. Now I think I'll put a Trump golf course at your house. America's taking back what you stole for years. Even your own people in the street all cheering. America drilling, pipelines getting blown. You starved your own damn people right down to the bone. Sad little commie man, what a damn disgrace. Ran the richest oil nation, now it's ours to take. Enjoy that orange jumpsuit, now you're on our soil. I hope that P. Diddy goes and gives you back your oil. Maduro. I hear Mar-a-Lago, Melania calling me Big Papi Chula. Other the liver was hitting on me, best of Maduro. Maduro es puta. Maduro. I hear Mar-a-Lago, Melania calling me Big Papi Chula. Other the liver was hitting on me, best of Maduro. Maduro es puta.
All right. Moving on.
Are you excited about the socialist program?
Good to give it a shot.
I'm for it all the way.
It has so many policies that I believe in.
This is my friend Daniel, who escaped Venezuela.
Action.
Did you vote for Zoran Mamdani?
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
I canvassed for him. The young people support him.
Mamdani's cool.
Are you at all worried that he is a socialist?
Not really.
I think socialism is actually really good for society.
I'm a professor. At NYU, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Are you familiar with how socialism worked out in other countries historically?
Just because it...
Here it is. It didn't work out for them, but this is different. We're different. It'll work this time.
didn't work out so well in other parts of the world doesn't mean it won't work out well for New York.
I actually have a friend of mine here who fled Venezuela. He is a living product of socialism not working out in other places.
Came from Venezuela years ago. It's the only country that was ever destroyed by socialism.
Venezuela, y'all got a lot of other problems to deal with.
The problems were caused by the socialist policy.
Yeah.
My family went from making $2,000-3,000 a month 20 years ago to $100 a month in 2016. That was because the government gave everything you can imagine for free. We went from being a normal middle-class family with a car and then no electricity, no daughter, Mamdani, actually thinks that Maduro was not a dictator. And 10 years ago, he actually praised our rigged elections.
What specific socialist policies do you think led to that?
The government took over people's businesses, farms, grocery stores, factories. Do you support the proposal of government grocery stores?
Of course I do.
There was very little supply of chicken, toilet paper. There was a line for blocks and blocks for a grocery store.
It's all about money, my friend, corruption.
Wait, what do you think the grocery store sells you food? For charity or for money?
For money.
That's not a bad thing.
What happened in Venezuela isn't going to happen here. The policy is more focused on helping people out.
Every politician would promise to help the people. Socialism is the government owns and controls the means of production. That is the companies, the businesses. Like Mamdani says, the government will own the grocery store. 9 million of us escaped our country. It's the largest refugee crisis in the world.
Crazy. Wow.
There is a lot of opportunities to use the wealth of New York to help everyone else.
You know, they have tried that in the Soviet Union from where my parents and my grandparents are from. All they remember of grocery stores is empty shelves.
Saram Mamdani himself said that his goal is to abolish private property.
All of it. He's going to take everything.
We can establish community land trust.
Yeah, actually, and one of his aides, I think for the housing authority, maybe something related to that, also got in trouble.
To gradually buy up housing on the private market and convert it to community ownership. You want to live in a public housing? No. New York City builds less total housing than Austin, Texas, a city that is 1/8 of the size of New York.
We need a change.
But then the change that we need is one that increases the supply of housing, right? Not that one that will decrease it like Mamdani. And I fear that what happened in Venezuela, Maduro, president that was originally democratically elected, decided to give everything away for free, take people's businesses, for the workers, and then it all went bankrupt and became very poor.
Over
There it is.
62%.
So when everybody says that we need a government of the people, right? You know Maduro was one? Maduro was a fucking bus driver. The working class. And yeah, look what happened.
Of young people and 66% of Democrats support socialism nationwide.
The Democratic Socialists of America,
Yeah,
have you heard
yeah.
of them? You know Mamdani is a part of it, right?
Yeah.
The DSA went to Venezuela just last year to support the dictator and say that he won the election that he didn't.
I had no idea. No, I did not know.
Do you think we should be supporting dictators like that?
Oh, no.
Government rent control, it's going to stop people from renting apartments because they're not going to be able to profit. There are going to be fewer apartments for rent, and then we're going to have less opportunities to actually live.
Why they want to take them.
I agree with that.
Okay.
I understand more about socialism now for sure.
Since we have had more free markets and capitalism in the world, billions of people have been lifted from poverty. And that every country that has attempted socialism, Venezuela, Cuba, the Soviet Union, North Korea, Eastern Europe, many countries in Africa, all of them became poor.
You've been through it in Venezuela.
Yes.
Why don't you move out of New York?
I already did, actually.
Oh, then awesome. Why do you care?
Well, I already moved out of my country, too. You think people should just keep moving out as socialists destroy their countries and their
I mean,
cities?
if you don't like the policies that the government's in power are doing, then yeah.
I think my opinion might have changed a little bit.
I'll be doing more research. Thank you for sharing.
Well, I heard a great quote about socialism, which is, it's really a great system until you run out of spending other people's money.
With the rise of socialism in America, it's more important than ever that we have these conversations.
I'm Tanya with the Free Press.
And I'm Daniel DiMartino. See you next time.
See you next time. Now, will some of them actually change their mind? Probably not. I would say maybe one of them won't. Two max. Now let's head to an operation that obviously the whole world watched. Well, woke up to. And how did it go down?
How do you capture a high-value target when the whole world is watching? You create a masterclass in deception. The CIA set the stage with a single building as bait and filled the sky with 150 aircraft to create a deafening sonic shield for the helicopters to drop Delta forces. F-35s lit up the perimeter.
You're talking about the aircraft we use? Bro, the technology we have compared to theirs is crazy.
Perimeter, turning night into day. By the time the dust settled, the helicopters had already touched down and Maduro was gone. Also look at how the US uses the F-35 jets and its Navy to launch a large-scale attack, all in the video ahead. In the dead of night that is 2 in the morning, the lights went out in Caracas. By 5 a.m., the president of Venezuela was gone. But how US played a deception games. While the whole world were focused on the aircraft carriers in the Caribbean, a shadow war was being fought on the ground. This wasn't an invasion, it was a surgical extraction. We finally have the declassified timeline of how U.S. forces breached the heart of Caracas and extracted Nicolas Maduro. Let's start with step 1. The setup. This didn't happen overnight. For months, the U.S. had been tightening a naval quarantine around Venezuela. The U.S. Gerald R. Ford Carrier Strike Group and the U.S. Iwo Jima Amphibious Ready Group were parked off the coast. The pretext was clear. The U.S. designated the Venezuelan government a narco-terrorist state, specifically targeting the drugs lords, but while the Navy squeezed the coast, intelligence assets were tracking one man. They waited for a specific window, a moment where Maduro was stationary and vulnerable. Step 2, the strike.
You know, this has been planned. They were there, almost like it was a CIA op.
It began at exactly 2 in the morning Venezuelan Standard Time. High above, several F-35 stealth fighters punch a hole through the enemy lines, destabilizing their anti-air defenses. Like these Russian S-300 missiles located all over the strategic high-value target. With the skies cleared, the path opens for Delta Force helicopters to fly straight towards the mission. Here comes the deception as the helicopters flew. The jets started firing with more strikes as it hit Fort Tuna.
Think about that. They're hitting all these other targets for distractions, keeping everything hidden. That matters, right? Wait. Making sure the objective is the only one that they don't... Never mind, I'm high right now. Misdirection. That's what our government does. That's what the media does. There you go.
A military base and command center and La Carlota Air Base, destabilizing the Venezuelan air support. Reports from the ground described explosions and a sudden communications blackout. The chaos wasn't the goal, it was the cover. But how did the raid happen? We have to look at step 3. Under the cover of darkness and chaos, the Tier 1 operators went to work. But what is the exact unit tasked with the mission? It is the Delta Force, one of the most elite secretive special forces units in the U.S. military. Witnesses in Caracas reported low-flying aircraft skimming the rooftops, flying well below radar coverage. The team breached a secure compound believed to be a safe house within the massive Fort Tuna.
It's a safe house in the middle of a fucking air base.
Complex. Resistance from the Venezuelan Presidential Guard was swift but ultimately futile, as the helicopters covered fire. The operators moved with surgical speed, landing on multiple points. But how exactly the capture and extraction happened? For this, let's look at step 4. Specialized helicopters hovered over the objective to insert the assault team. While dozens of attack helicopters laid down suppression fire, the Delta Special Forces descended and started the search for the high-value targets. How did they find him? Simple. The CIA had planted spy inside Nicolas Maduro close circle. While back in the US, Delta Force built an exact replica of his safe house, rehearsing the raid until they could do it blindfolded. While operators breached the room so fast, his security could not even react to the situation as the sound of flash grenades disoriented the security guard. Using blowtorch, they caught him before he could even lock all the doors. Maduro's shock and awe froze him as Delta Force breached the compound. Nicolas Maduro and his wife, Celia Flores, were physically secured. This wasn't a negotiation. They were detained and immediately moved to the extraction point. These aircraft are capable of performing urban extractions from buildings and refueling in midair. Within minutes, they were airborne, leaving Venezuela from buildings and refueling in midair.
So we're talking about refueling from midair. This little thingy right here, right? It looks like you might be shooting something. That's the in-air refuel. So the aircraft gets in front of it, that has the fuel. This comes out and they connect, in-air refuel.
Within minutes, they were airborne.
B-2 bombers went to Iran.
Leaving Venezuelan airspace and heading to a secure floating staging base in the Caribbean. This Operation Southern Spear has changed the geopolitical map of South America overnight. But wait, before after the extractions, there were reports of F-35 jets also leading the tip of the spear for the attack. We'll look how the United States used F-35 jets.
What the hell? Did y'all see that?
Here for the attack. We'll look how the United States.
Bro, that's not how you spell United States. Wow.
States used F-35 jets instead of X-16s for operations in Venezuela, because this is a well-organized and militarized Venezuela has advanced Russian S-300 missile systems, Chinese radar networks, integrated Russian air defenses, and Shahed drones along its borders. This creates a highly lethal and challenging...
Russia, China, and Iran. So they got the ADA weapons from Russia, satellites from China, and drones from Iran. So they weren't, sponsoring any terrorist networks.
Shahed drones along its borders. This creates a highly lethal and challenging environment that older S-16s were able to survive. As stated, around 150 aircrafts and a massive 8 U.S. destroyers were stationed there. It also has 3 amphibious aircraft carrier and surveillance plane to turn it into a massive command and control juggernaut capable of overcoming a modern military's air defenses. Signals a readiness to counter Venezuela's entire air defense network if necessary. But why Venezuela Air Force failed to intercept? As of 2025, Venezuela's fighter jet fleet consists mainly of approximately 21 Sukhoi Su-30 multirole fighters delivered by Russia between 2006 and 2008, which now form the backbone of their combat air power. Additionally, they maintain about 5 operational F-16 Fighting Falcons from an older batch, including 3 single-seat S-16As and 2 two-seat...
Pay attention to where they get the supplies.
Fighting Falcons from an older batch, including 3 single-seat S-16As and 2 two-seat S-16Vs. These S-16s are aging and suffer from limited maintenance and part support due to U.S. sanctions, although they have been supplemented with Israeli upgrades.
Wait. So there's sanctions against getting equipment from us, but Israel was supplying them with the parts. Interesting.
Venezuela acquired its F-16 jets from the United States through a foreign military sales agreement called Peace Delta in May 1982, during a period of good diplomatic and military relations. They were the first Latin American country to receive the S-16, with deliveries occurring between 1983 and 1985. The reason the U.S. does not use S-16s in current operations is because these jets lack the stealth capabilities necessary to evade the S-300 and other integrated defenses. The advanced S-300V or Anti-2500 systems, supported by dense Chinese and Russian radar, can easily detect and target older aircraft at long ranges. Sending S-16s into such an environment would result in high attrition risks, as they are vulnerable to radar detection and missile engagement. Not to forget the Russian Buk air defense system that can take out an S-16 with ease. These are cheap R-15 or 24 Buk systems are already active and mobile all over the country. Additionally, S-16s are less effective in contested airspace saturated with drones, especially the Iranian Shahed drones used by Venezuela for reconnaissance and kamikaze strikes. The F-35, however, offers crucial advantages. Its stealth design enables it to fly undetected or with much lower risk, making it effective against advanced surface-to-air missiles and networked radar systems. Its sensor fusion, electronic warfare, and data link capabilities allow it to simultaneously suppress and target mobile and fixed air defense positions, adapting rapidly to counter Russian and Chinese radar configurations. While the aircrafts took out the anti-air defenses Venezuelan military as a whole, this allowed the CIA and special forces to advance towards its target. The overwhelming presence of advanced Russian, Chinese, Iranian, and indigenous air defense and drone systems on the Venezuelan border means that the stealth fighter jets, or the first wave of attack, provide both the survivability and strike capability required for such operations. But how do they rotate clockwise? Well, the distance from Puerto Rico to Venezuela is about 1,300 kilometers. This is roughly 810 miles, which translates to around 1.5 hours of flight time for an F-35 flying at high subsonic speeds. These jets rotated clockwise as its combat radius is approximately 770 miles, meaning it can reach most of Venezuela from Puerto Rico with careful fuel management and limited loitering. To extend mission time and reach deeper inland, air-to-air refueling tankers deployed strategically in the Caribbean region support these operations. In situations requiring strikes within minutes, U.S. amphibious assault ships equipped with F-35Bs can launch jets rapidly. From such ships positioned in the Caribbean, F-35Bs can reach Venezuelan targets within roughly 15 to 10 minutes, depending on speed and route. Targets typically include narco-traffickers' networks, air defense installations, command centers, and drone facilities, enabling flexible sea-based strike options against both Venezuelan military and criminal infrastructure. In essence, the F-35 deployment by the U.S. near Venezuela redefines military capabilities in the region. It combines stealth, advanced sensors, electronic warfare, and networked operations to overcome sophisticated air defenses and maintain persistent air superiority and rapid strikeability against a broad spectrum of targets in Venezuela. This reflects a strategy that goes beyond counter-narcotics to deter and, if necessary, decisively counter the Venezuelan military threat. We also made a deep dive into the sea, air, and land components of the nuclear triad, so subscribe for more videos to not miss a beat.
Thought it'd be a little bit interesting to show you. There's a little more. This one didn't show that they have like a radar scattering. Never mind, it's hard to explain it, but I'll look it up for you. Get back to you on the next episode. So this right here, this one right here, this is the guy, the only guy that killed somebody on January 6th at the Capitol building. I guess he got a new job. A new job. And he got pardoned. Why would he have gotten pardoned if he did nothing wrong? Anyway, let's continue.
Would you look at that, Abe? We could be rich. Rich with Lambos. If only we were scumbag Democrats robbing our fellow American tax-paying citizens and running a scam daycare. Allegedly, of course. Allegedly, of course. Everybody knows all of these daycares lately. This seems to be a gigantic source of Democrat income. But they're all legitimate. Racist. Remember that Somalian Captain Michael Lieutenant Byrd who killed Ashley Babbitt on January 6th? The thing that they're still trying to make a thing over there, you leftards? Oh, that's weird. Well, he now, by the way, is a captain, killed a woman, killed an unarmed protester, and then was promoted. Wowee! Wow. Anyway, he also runs a family daycare with his wife, Kaliskos. I guess if you can't pronounce it, you can't have her investigate. Is that what we're thinking over here? Anyhow, guys, Gateway Pundit report. Lieutenant Michael Byrd, officer who shot Ashley Babbitt dead on January 6th in cold blood, allegedly operates unaccredited home daycare in Maryland tied to $190 million in HHS funds. Of course, HHS stands for holy shit! It's a lot of money.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
This is the newest Democrat scam. Oh my God, we care. All the governors, right? That flappy-handed goofball in Minnesota, the douchebag in Maryland. Oh my God, we love kids so much. I'll bet you do, weirdos. I'll bet you do. We see you. Anyway, we got to give them free daycare. We got to give them free food. We got to feed them. Oh, yeah, get food. Oh, yeah, get food. So what do you need? Well, we need to tax all of you.
See, I'm not the only one that's crazy.
Cattle, $1 trillion to pay for it. And then most of it goes missing, obviously. None of it hits the kids. For every dollar that hits a poor BIPOC Maryland kid who needs daycare at this goofball's house, $100 million is stolen by the people who run the place. That's the scam. Everybody knows it. That's why the Somali videos have been going up like fireworks lately. That's why Nick Shirley's a thing. That's why people are into this, because people are done being built. Americans are done being built. Oh, you done being built? Well, Lieutenant Michael Captain Birdo here will shoot you. Allegedly, of course, in Minecraft. Anyway, Birth Family Daycare in Brandywine. Guys, got pink. Look at it. So beautiful. Look at the size of this house, Abe. Killing Donald Trump supporters and running a totally legitimate daycare from your house is lucrative. That house looks like it's sitting on a whole nother house over here, Abe. Look at this. Damn. Anyhow, scroll all the way
What happens when you
down.
work for the Capitol?
You already know who Michael Byrd is, right? Again, Captain Michael Byrd, promoted. That's a wild thing. Records show that U.S. Capitol Police Captain Michael Byrd, who fatally shot unarmed J6 protester Ashley Babbitt without warning, has been running an unaccredited daycare center with wife from their Maryland home.
Whoa.
Since 2008, by the way, of course. Maryland records about $190 million in HS daycare funds. Well, that's part of it. I mean, there's 190 there. Look at this. They're going to increase it to 200. Look at this. Maryland receives significant federal and state funding for child daycare. Right? They're going to put $500 million in it last. $500 million. Okay. And then they're going to. This is all to support 32,000 children. Not all citizens, of course, by the way. And they're going to need a bump. By the way, we're going to need to include a major state investment, $300 million. You've got almost $800 million. You got almost $1 billion in this state for child care
For 32,000
kids. Why don't you just mail the parents? Don't do any of this, by the way. Don't rob the taxpayers of Maryland, and don't do this. But you could just send at $800 million for 30,000 kids. You could just mail every house 25 grand.
You know,
I mean, that's
with all this fraud going on, why aren't certain parents upset? Because that's why daycare prices are going up. Or, from what I heard, are ridiculous. I know when in the military, some of the people were the grade below me, and they were paying they wanted to pay like $700 a month for fucking childcare. When you have a colonel who would pay less, it was all fucked up.
just mail the parents 25 grand. Mail the single moms 25 grand. No. We got to take it out. We got. I mean, that. Do you really think Maryland, for the Maryland residents who qualify for this, are you getting 25 grand worth of daycare? Damn. And by the way, daycare at a house where the dude left a loaded gun in the bathroom at the Capitol. Look it up. How is he allowed to have children in his house? Even if his wife is running it. The dude, he wasn't even fired for that, by the way. That's why you know he killed Ashley Babbitt. He was supposed to set off a bloodbath. It was his job. He was tasked with killing Ashley Babbitt. He was supposed to kill a bunch of other people. He was supposed to light the blood fuse in the place because the dude left a loaded gun in the bathroom and he didn't get fired. No, he got promoted. No. If you're a cop on the beat and you leave your gun, leave a loaded service pistol in a bathroom, you gone. They're going to cut you. That dude got promoted. Then he killed
the old Sonny fuck up to move
now
up.
He's got a daycare center. Wow. Must be nice to be Captain, Lieutenant, Captain, Colonel, Admiral Byrd over here. And guys, allegedly, of course. Allegedly. Thanks.
See, it's not going after the Somalis. It's going after... Well, fuck, now it looks like it's just going after black people. Have they checked Mexican daycares? Have they checked American daycares? I get it. But when they tell you, oh, they're shutting off all the funds for people that are doing the right thing, you can't judge the whole group by the minority. Wait, small group of white people are racist, but you think all of them are racist? I'm sorry, you can't be racist towards white people. I forgot that. It's written somewhere. I don't think it's written in Black's law. It's an actual book, Black's Law. It's for use by sovereign citizens and not being racist. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
We've been working with whistleblowers, and these whistleblowers are Minnesota state employees.
All right, first of all, Comer's a fucking moron. I don't think he knows where he's at sometimes. Not because he's old, it's because I think he's retarded. But he's a useful idiot.
Most all of whom are registered Democrats that have been sounding the alarm for years. So we're going to inform the American people today what's going on, and also talk about what the Trump administration is doing as we speak on the ground to try to hold people accountable.
Well, you just heard the soundbite of Tim Walz. You hear what he's saying. Hey, I'm not going anywhere. And by the way, when is the president going to resign? What exactly do you think he's talking about?
Well, he has to be talking about January 6th, because that's all they want to talk about today. In fact, I think their witness, the minority always gets a witness. We have state legislators. This is
Think about this. When it comes to January 6th, believe all federal agents. You know, the ones that were on ground. But when it comes to anything that goes against them, oh my God, they're Gestapo. Listen, guys, the feds are useless, period. So once we all figure that out, by feds I mean like the FBI and the ATF and the DEA, we could, maybe.
Hearing today in oversight
IRS,
about fraud, about
Federal
billions
Reserve.
of dollars of fraud in one particular state, and the Democrats will want to. Their members aren't going to talk about fraud because they don't care about wage fraud abuse. They care about January 6th all of a sudden. So that's what I think he.
Yeah, that's why Mike Johnson hasn't brought up any of the Doge cuts so they can keep them permanent. Yeah, Mike, when are you going to do that?
Referring to, but at the end of the day, he's going to have to answer a lot of questions. If he doesn't voluntarily come in for our committee hearing that's already scheduled next month with him and Attorney General Keith Ellison, then he will be receiving a subpoena very soon from me, because he's going to have to answer a lot of questions to the American people. We're talking about a significant percentage of Tim Walz's entire budget.
We're going to subpoena him.
Appears
Just
to
like
have
you
gone,
subpoenaed Hunter Biden and he laughed in your face.
In the way of fraud, primarily by the Somali community.
Well, Mr. Chairman, let me ask you a question about that, because you say all they want to talk about is January 6th. Are you investigating what they did on January 6th? There is a report that Lieutenant Michael Byrd, who's the officer who shot Ashley Babbitt dead on January 6th, he allegedly was operating an unaccredited home daycare.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
I mean, is that part of your investigation? Are you looking at the fact that right now we understand that the CIA told the court it cannot produce any requested January 6th documents and information for 4 more years? 4 more years, we can't see the documents? Why?
I don't know, but that's a committee that the Speaker has tagged Barry Loudermilk.
Why is the CIA not
He's on
releasing
what's called the House Administration Committee. That committee is usually a very low-profile committee. They kind of focus on House administration here, so that was...
Why are the CIA preventing them from releasing them for 4 more years? Huh. Why is the CIA even involved in it? It's not foreign matter.
Something that happened obviously inside these walls, and he's been doing a good job, but he's struggling to get information, and I hope that the Trump administration turns over all the information that he has, because we all have questions about January 6th, and it appears that the January 6th committee led by Liz Cheney and Jamie Raskins and that bunch weren't truthful with the American people, and that's a consistent pattern I found.
Yeah, they were.
I mean, did they destroy evidence?
Well, they could have. I mean, I don't. Anything Jamie Raskin does, you can just throw it in the trash. He has zero credibility with me, and I think with most Americans.
Well, there is a story that man, Michael Byrd, was also operating a taxpayer-funded home daycare as $190 million in federal child care funds flowed to Maryland. Now, the president has talked about other fraud in other states. The president is actually accusing another blue state of fraud.
I'm waiting for Nick Shirley's new video. It's supposed to be fire. But then again, I've been trying to watch his Sean Ryan interview. Apparently hasn't been released yet. Sean.
corruption. Watch this.
California is more corrupt than any place. California is more corrupt than Minnesota. And I won Minnesota. Well, Tom's going, I think so. Well, it's close. It can't be proportionately. Probably nothing's more corrupt.
Fox confirmed the president's assertion that a fraud investigation is underway on California, and it will involve multiple federal agencies. Today marks 1 year since the devastating Pacific Palisades fires in California. But I want to get your take on whether or not there's fraud.
And they're not even allowed to rebuild on their own property, which is
we've seen in
weird.
Minnesota.
Almost like a giant land grab. Almost like socialism. Oh, that's yours? Yeah, not anymore. Yeah, that's ours. We know it was your property, but yeah, it's not your property anymore. Sucks to be you.
I think that without a doubt there's fraud in California, and I think you're going to find it with the illegal immigrant population that's flooded that state, just like it has Minnesota, Illinois, New York, and many other blue states, but particularly among the Somali community. And for whatever reason, the Democrats don't want to talk about this. I think it's political. I think that's why they left the border open for 4 years under Joe Biden. They were trying to rush as many future Democrat voters into America as possible. And with this particular community, the Somali community, it appears over 75%, Maria, of the Somali population in America is on full welfare benefits. You know, the argument to letting people into the United States has always been we need workers, we need workers. For whatever reason, this particular community, which is a major flank in the Democrat Party, a major part of their Democrat base, they are.
Wait till I show you some of the videos from that hearing they had.
Today, I think is going to outrage every hardworking, tax-paying American. But I'm glad that we're going to also be able to report that the Trump administration is on the ground. I know a lot of people get frustrated because we do investigations and it doesn't seem like people are being held accountable. But we're going to talk today about what's already happened. There have been many arrests, and I think it's just the tip of the iceberg. And hopefully, after today's committee hearing, there'll be many more arrests.
And where does that lead us? I mean,
hold on, Comer. All this stuff going on right now, I have one question. Have you guys worked on the budget? You've got 22 days. 22 days, and then the government shuts down all over again. What are we doing about this? Did something happen? Not that I know of.
You're right. There's frustration that there's never accountability to any of this.
Yeah.
So once we hear from whistleblowers, once you tell us exactly what you've been doing and the Trump administration is doing, then what?
Well,
criminal referrals?
Hopefully there'll be. Oh, absolutely. Hopefully there'll be criminal prosecutions. And you know, Tim Walz is going to have to answer some questions because according to the whistleblowers, they've been warning Tim Walz and Keith Ellison, the Attorney General, both of whom I served with here in Congress, about this fraud for years, and they've turned a blind eye because they needed that Somali population to win elections. And that's what it all comes down to, Maria. That's why the Democrats have had an open border policy. That's why they give blank checks to these blue states. That's why they don't have any accountability or oversight of these grant funds, because it's all about buying votes and building the Democrat Party. They've lost the working men and women of America. They've lost the people in America with common sense. So all they have left are all these immigrants that have poured in here that they're giving full welfare benefits to and turning a blind eye to massive fraud.
Are you going to ask to speak with Tim Walz? Are you going to ask him to testify?
Absolutely. 100%. He's going to receive a subpoena if he doesn't come in voluntarily.
Yeah,
before I can issue a subpoena, I have to give someone an opportunity to come in voluntarily. We've done that. We haven't heard back from him. He knows what the rules are in Congress. He served in Congress. So we fully expect Tim Walz to be here. And if he's done nothing wrong, then he's going to have an opportunity for due process in a few weeks in front of the Oversight Committee. He can explain to the American people how their tax dollars were wasted to one particular immigrant population in America.
Right,
not
so
just
sent a
one, you
request
dummy.
asking him to come in to speak with you, and you're waiting for a response back.
But when they show you some of the money was sent back to Al-Shabaab, Bob, one of those. We'll get into that one tomorrow.
If you don't hear from him, you will subpoena.
100%, absolutely. And not just Tim Walz, also the Attorney General, Keith Ellison.
They need to do
He may even
Ellison.
have more liability in this than Tim Walz. We'll see. But we're getting a lot of reports. We're going over the information as quickly as possible. And one thing that helps me as chairman of the Health Oversight Committee, we have to have credible whistleblowers, like we did with Gary Shapley and Ziegler in the Biden influence peddling investigation. We have to have whistleblowers. And thankfully in Minnesota,
It doesn't matter. Because of all this
Tonight, we are following up on
no one's going to get in trouble. Not happening. Not happening. They won't allow it to happen. They won't. Who's they? The powers to be. Either the deep state or the Jews. Wait a minute, the deep state is run by Jews. It's Russia's fault, guys. 2026, it's Russia's fault. You know what? It's Trump's fault. Yeah. I can just say Trump's fault. MAGA.
Minneapolis State.
Oh, by the way, we're going to talk about the Quality Learning Center, who changed its name to the Quality Learning Center. However, in state records, it was closed when Shirley went there. But then when the media came there, they were opened again. Well, and they changed the sign. I mean, that's a good thing. But
Here at the center of questions about fraud in Minnesota's child care assistance program.
We have been tracking CCAP funding for more than a year. Investigative reporter Eric Rasmussen is here with new developments raising, Eric, even more questions.
You might have heard this name. We're talking about the Quality Learning Center near downtown Minneapolis. First it was closed, then it was open, and now we've confirmed it's closed again. That's all after the owners recently rejected allegations of stealing taxpayer money. Back at the Quality Learning Center in Minneapolis, it was a case of deja vu. Hi, this is Eric Rasmussen with KSTP Channel 5. We're still waiting for a response to our calls and emails looking for an explanation about what 5 Investigates found Wednesday morning. A search of the state's online system reveals Quality Learning Center now closed as of January 6th. A 180-degree turn after our cameras recorded
it's funny when you realize the local media is actually starting to do their job.
Parade of parents and children into the business last week. The owners used that to refute a viral YouTube video claiming to expose empty daycares, collecting millions of taxpayer dollars.
Someone came to our building outside of operating hours.
So why is the daycare suddenly closed again? The Department of Children, Youth, and Families would only tell 5 Investigates that Quality Learning Center requested closure of their license on Tuesday.
Oh.
No answer from the daycare's owner when property records led us to this house in Shoreview looking for answers.
What do you make of the fact that right after that big scene last week that they're closed again?
Well, to me, that's where there's smoke, there's
Whoa,
fire.
bro.
Perhaps they're trying to.
Whoa. Not saying he could be. Not saying he is, but it kind of looks like he's not wearing it right now. Kind of looks like he's wearing one before, and it kind of just pushed down on his head.
Avoid something.
State Rep Nolan West says questions about Quality Learning Center prompted him to send a letter to the head of DCYF demanding more transparency and accountability when it comes to which licensed daycare providers in Minnesota are actually open. A question KSTP has been asking for a long time since reporter Jay Coles found empty daycares receiving taxpayer funding a year ago.
What do you think may actually come out of your letter?
So 2013, 2015, last year.
All this attention.
Well, the idea is we need this to be taken seriously because we need bipartisan cooperation to pass any law in Minnesota. And clearly we are in need of more anti-fraud measures.
As we reported last week, DCYF says that Daycare Quality Learning Center received $1.9 million in taxpayer funding in just the last fiscal year. Now, the agency declined our request for another interview today, but I can tell you it said the operators of...
Hey, maybe they self-deported. They made all that money, time to self-deport, right?
Is it dangerous to be here on the street?
We're heading to Seattle. This is a Shirley video from months ago. A year ago. Just saying. We're going to talk about Seattle and then how it might apply to the new mayor.
What's been taking over the streets here?
You have to ask them, but it's mostly, from what I know, it's mostly fentanyl. And I don't know what, it's like a new breed of addict, because I'm an addict in recovery. When I was an addict and using, I wouldn't do it just right there on the street where everybody, like I'd give respect to people and their babies, and you know, I'd do it out the way, and I wouldn't leave garbage everywhere. It's ridiculous, and they're dirty and don't clean themselves. And
they're just doing it literally right 2 blocks away from one of the biggest markets in America, like one of the biggest tourist spots in America.
I know, and it makes Seattle look really bad. And Seattle needs some work anyway, but still.
And what makes Seattle's drug epidemic so bad compared to other cities like Kensington, Philadelphia, or Los Angeles, California, is that Seattle's problem is in the most popular part of the city. I'm not joking when I say it is only a few blocks away from Pike's Market. Within a few minute walk from the fish throwing market, you are inside the heart of the crisis.
I don't even want to get off the bus right there because of my baby, you know? Like for a while I had to like put a blanket over my baby just to get off the bus. Like, and even like at my house, I live only a couple blocks from here, and I have to, like, I can't even come out my door because I'll have to walk through like fentanyl smoke. Like, I had to make people leave before. Like, can you please move so I can get out the door with my baby? Plus, like, people like are leaving like those pills and stuff, like dropping it everywhere, like in parks and then babies are getting them, and like it's just the littlest amount to people that don't have a tolerance can kill people. So
I see your leg is swollen. Is that from?
That's from bad circulation from when I used to use, like, and it's just from my circulation being messed up. It's not like an open wound, it's just dry, like dry skin. The skin's really thin there.
Now, there has been a homelessness and drug issue in Seattle for quite some time, but over the past 3 years, this issue has nearly tripled, and that comes from the arrival of fentanyl. Listen to what this cop says about the amount of fentanyl found in just 3 months in the city of Seattle.
And Chief, previously you told us that your officers had basically collected enough fentanyl in the first 3 months of the year to kill the entire population of the city. In your estimation, in your experience, is this the worst drug crisis the city has ever faced?
It's the worst crisis that I've seen in my career, so 26 years. And just in the last 2 weeks, we've recovered close to what would be equivalency of about 250,000 pills just in the last 2 weeks.
How has fentanyl affected the city here in Seattle?
Oh, it is awful. It's poisoning people. It's making a bunch of people mental around it, get desperate and do desperate things, and it just killing them from the inside out. It is awful. You know, it's just making people go crazy and do some real dangerous things to themselves and to everybody else around them. And every time I go to a bus stop, they're freaking smoking their crap and they're dealing it like it's nobody's business. When I was younger, they used to get arrested for this stuff, but now the police just pass on by. They don't even know the difference between a cigarette or a joint or this other hard.
We're going to get into that, why what he just said may be important.
Stuff that these people are smoking and injecting, that's the real poisonous stuff.
Later in this video, we will speak with a former middleman for the cartel on how they bring in fentanyl to the United States. It's important for you to understand how powerful fentanyl is. I share this information with you in hopes that it deters anyone from ever trying this horrific substance. Fentanyl is so powerful, just a flake of it can kill you. It is 50 times more powerful than heroin and causes extreme dependence. The effects of fentanyl cause parts of the body to lose circulation and limbs to fall off. That's why many people are in wheelchairs or have gouges in their skin. And how dangerous is it for a citizen or a tourist to walk the streets of Seattle when fentanyl is being used openly on the streets?
It's really weird because you can walk around the corner here, and then if they're smoking it right in your face.
Last time I was there, I think maybe not this lot or the one next to it's where I park.
You actually feel the effects.
I'm gonna do a walkthrough right here and just walk you guys through and show you what I'm seeing as I walk. We got people hunched over on the ground. We got some people out here doing outreach. A lot of people with lighters, a lot of people with foil. A lot of people don't really know what's going on. People are passed out on the ground. People look like they're kind of stuck in a position they don't know how to get out of. So you've been coming here for quite some time now. And how have you seen the situation change year over year?
Well, it has changed dramatically because I moved to Seattle 5 years ago, and definitely many businesses have moved. The streets look very dirty. It's very unsafe to be around here. And definitely, this is not the best area of Seattle.
And do you think people that were coming here, say as a tourist, and they come here, do you think they're expecting to see all this stuff?
Definitely not. I used to work at the Four Seasons Seattle down here, and I remember that many of our clients would complain about how dirty and unsafe the city looks like.
What are we seeing here on the streets? What's taking over the streets here?
Drugs, and it's just not safe. You know, people are just taking advantage. Sometimes they take advantage on the tourists. I have heard a few experiences about people, you know, getting robbed, and definitely that is not right and is not acceptable.
How long have you been out here on the streets, and what brought you out here?
Oh, okay, 2-3 years.
When you wake up, what's the first thing that's on your mind?
I gotta make sure I eat food, and I gotta make sure I do something right. I'm not touching any blood. I'm gonna use it opiate, just like a fatty, hard crack.
And where are you from?
Blues. I use it there, so I know my maintenance. So just like I'm from Africa originally.
And when you left Africa, did you think your life was going to be like this?
My life gonna be like this? I'm happy. I'm still happy, and the same power it depends on me. And I feel like I'm rich though, and everybody knows that.
Where do you sleep at night?
On the street though, on the train or on the transportation.
How often are you guys using fentanyl, or what drug are you guys using on here on the streets?
So, lots of my friends, you know what I'm saying, are on that shit. I'm not. So like,
So what are you
see,
on?
when you come around here, like downtown and shit, like, it's pretty bad. And then, majority of these people out here, they're homeless by choice.
How many pills do you go through a day?
How many pills do I... Shit, I don't know. I don't... Some people like maybe 2, 3, you know what I'm saying?
How many pills?
Six.
Like
You go
you said
7?
6.
You go 7? Oh, you go 10, huh? That's not a competition though.
I used to have those in my my aid bag. And one of the ways when like you have a person that needs it, because they might pass out, we always take the fentanyl lollipop and tape it to their finger, so that we put it in their mouth, and that way it's not going to go down their throat. They won't choke on it.
That's not a competition. That's
how many pills?
That's depends on how you stress. You take her like when I sit down with her and she pissed off too, and she wanna get high, and she wanna make sure that everything is okay. She wanna make her habit to release her stress, so she wanna like smoke again and again because of like she don't like me, because she see me and she wanna kiss me, and she see me like a younger brother. So I wanna make sure go. And because she smoke hard, because she smoke again and again because she want to meet her boyfriend. That means like people, they don't have any competition down here. They just smoke because of the system.
On the daily, what are you guys seeing here on the street?
It just gets worse and worse. Yeah, everything.
Everything.
It's a mystery, some of the things.
And how are the drugs getting here to the streets? It seems like that's kind of a mystery. Most of the users here, they don't know how they're getting them. They know they have a friend here that gives them the drugs, but nobody knows how they're actually getting here to the streets.
I would not know, and I don't have an answer for you on that.
After diving into such a sobering issue, such as the crisis here in Seattle, it's good to take a moment for something a little bit lighter, and that's where the sponsor of this video comes in, Prize Picks. They are the best place to get real money while you're watching to see what's going on here. Do you like it down here in Seattle?
That's okay.
How would you describe the smell here on the streets of Seattle?
Ridiculous. It smells like burnt
Shit.
hair, popcorn, gas, and all in one. It just smells like burnt. And it can make you throw up. Me, I'm nauseous in the heat. Just help somebody. He just got shot right there.
Is it dangerous to be here on the streets?
I just told you somebody got shot. Yeah, it could be dangerous because everybody is high, drunk, and don't know what they're doing and don't care. If they don't get their drink, their liquor, their clear, their fentanyl, whatever, blues, whatever, they're mad. If you say don't got it, they're mad. I seen it.
Just to even walk to go to McDonald's, you have to pass through a whole entire row of people that are using illegal substances here on the streets of Seattle. As an outreach worker, what do you guys do?
And we walk around and offer people resources. So like housing, employment, detox, rehab, those type of things.
And out of the percentage of people that you talk to, say like 1 out of 10, how many people actually take the resource that you gave and they are like, okay, I'm willing to drop?
I don't want to find out, to be honest.
What I'm doing right now, I'm gonna come with you guys.
That one's hard. I don't think it's a certain
Like
number.
what percentage?
What percentage of people that actually take the help?
20%.
I don't know. It's a coin flip. You know what I'm saying? Probably 50, I guess. It just kind of depends on their situation, their background, and that's why we're out here, because we try to figure out what's holding them back. Like, why not going to housing? Why not rehab? Why not taking that extra step yet? So that's kind of stuff that we work on. We're out here every day from 6 a.m. to 9:30, so we know pretty much all these people on a first-name basis.
After speaking with this outreach worker, he agreed to take us down deep into the alleyways where all the people were at. Once we entered into the alleyway, all the people inside the alleyway started coming to the outreach worker to receive some fruit snacks and water for the day. And then we went deep into the alleyway to see what it's actually like. So would you say that most of these people, you talk to them and they're nice people?
Yeah, bro. They just want to be treated like humans. A lot of people, have issues and stuff like that, but it's about how you talk to them and treat them, bro. They're still human at the end of the day. A lot of people have mistakes, and, you never know what these people have gone through, bro. So it's about keeping an open mind and, just keeping it cool. They're cool with me. They're cool with everybody, bro. As long as you're cool, they're good people, bro.
Yeah. Say like this person right here that's on the ground. How do we know if she's all right, and when do you think we'd know that she needs to get Narcan? Or
we've already checked on her and moved her and woke her up. So we know that she's okay, but really check for if they're breathing or not. So if you see somebody, she got to be moved. But if you see somebody and they look out, you can kind of tell, bro. It looks bad, but we'll try to wake you up.
Yo,
if they don't try to wake you up,
did not
okay, then you go for a pulse. If they don't have a pulse, if they're not breathing or have like a faint pulse, then we administer Narcan. If we see some type of paraphernalia, a nearby foil, straw, something of that nature, we'll administer Narcan, and if they don't have a pulse, we'll do CPR. If they do have a pulse, then there's like a rest position that we take. And
what are they going to do if somebody figures out how to make a Narcan-resistant fentanyl?
Call medics immediately and stuff like that. So,
wow.
Yeah, there's a whole process for sure. This person's okay, real quick.
Whoa.
Before we were walking through, and it was a little scary, but we walked through with you guys. Everyone turned out to be super nice to us.
Yeah, and we know. You see how they bum rush us? Like, you guys got snacks, water. You know what I'm saying? We're out here every day. We know all these guys, most of them by name. So.
If it wasn't for you people like you guys, how many more people do you think would be dead on the streets?
Oh, a ton, because we've gotten a lot of people housed. We got people employed. Rehab, detox. So, we're just it's gonna take time, but as long as we have the resources and the people in place, it'll be all right.
What do you know about what's going on with the fentanyl crisis here inside Seattle?
I believe it's CIA and a bunch of Chinese and Mexicans that are wanting to destroy our country and poison our people. They took all the real cocaine. I believe it's
place. It'll be all right.
What do you know about what's going on with the fentanyl crisis here inside Seattle?
I believe it's CIA and a bunch of Chinese and Mexicans that are wanting to destroy our country and poison our people. They took all the real cocaine and made a bunch of meth and fentanyl in their bathtubs, and they're poisoning everybody, destroying everybody.
That's my kind of crazy right there. That's the crazy that, we could get along.
Everybody from the inside out, making everybody be poisoned on the streets and be homeless and desperate, committing crime.
And he's anti-vax, guys.
It's an internal hit upon our country, organized. They're messing up our country with all this fake dope, okay? And these people who are producing, prosecuted.
Something I have wondered is why would China or Mexico or whoever's bringing over this fentanyl, why would they want to bring this fentanyl over into America?
It might be a possible tactic of war. I think it's just people wanting control of our country. The people that should have been indicted and prosecuted and sent to Gitmo already, they're still out in the streets acting like heroes. I think they're creating the chaos.
All of this madness was happening on 3rd and Pike, commonly referred to as the Blade. On the Blade, the majority of businesses have closed down, and the Walgreens on the Blade had a busted window, and the shelves were nearly empty, and the shelves with items were all locked up. I was actually able to speak with an addict who had recently got clean inside the Walgreens. And you were once living on the Blade, weren't you?
Yeah, I actually, when I was doing heroin, I just kind of was hitchhiking and following the heroin, and I ended up coming here, and then there wasn't heroin anymore until it turned into fentanyl, and so I quit doing it, man. I went to the methadone clinic and got out of that life. Got off the street.
And how's your life been since you got off the street?
I'll tell you what. I don't have to start over again with nothing every morning when I wake up. It's kind of nice. I feel like my lifespan might have extended a little bit.
Say there's an addict watching this video right now. What would be your message to that addict to try to get them off the streets?
You gotta want it.
If you're really ready to, because I don't believe anyone's will quit until they're absolutely ready to quit. If they're still having fun, they're fun with it, they're not ready yet. But if they're sick and tired of it, there's more resources here than anywhere I've ever been in this country, and I walked here from Louisiana. There's no this place has more resources for the homeless than anywhere I've ever seen. If somebody really wants to get up and get off this blade, they just have to have the will, you know. They have to be ready to be tired of it, you know.
Would you say the majority of the people here on the streets, they don't really want to get the help, and then maybe once they are willing to get the help, they do have the resources to get off the drugs?
It seems to me like I find very few who actually want the help. Like when they said it, when I got my tiny house, they said I had to give them my tent in order to get into the tiny house. But most of the other people that were camped out at that tent city wouldn't give them their tent. They wanted to stay outside.
So a lot of people choose to stay outside.
A lot of them do.
Sleep under the stars.
I just have been outside for over a decade, and I am tired of it. I retired.
How do you feel about what's going on here in Seattle?
Everybody deals with addiction in some sort of aspect. There needs to be more resources for people.
No, not one to talk bad about people. Yes, I am. Isn't Notre Dame missing something? Who's ringing the bell? Just saying.
And there needs to be more options, but people also have to want to get help if they're gonna get help. And they need to take us because I can't bring my kids out here. I literally can't walk around with my kids out here.
And to see as the fentanyl crisis had spread outside of downtown, we then left and we met this man who claimed he used to work for the cartels. Pay close attention to what he has to say, because if he is saying the truth, it is pretty mind-boggling.
I'm 47 years old, and I have a huge story. This is not one that typical people go through. I died 4 times smoking fentanyl powder, not the pills, off of foil on the streets of Seattle. I was a drug dealer on a big level. I was a middleman, and I worked for 2 different cartels during COVID-19, the biggest scam ever. And look, I'm going to the Supreme Court of the United States of America to put behind bars the CIA agents specifically that broker deals to bring fentanyl across the border. And I've seen the railroad cars with my...
What's this dude's name? Now I kind of want to look more into this.
My own eyes as a dealer, as a middleman. I've seen the product here. They will be going to federal prison, and the CIA will be definitely accountable in the future. What's happened here in the city, there's no way we can change anything until we get the fentanyl to stop coming across the border.
With the border crisis right now that we have going on, there's obviously hundreds and thousands of millions of people that are coming across the border. Do you think a lot of those people are bringing over fentanyl from the border?
No, absolutely not. It comes, I have seen it with my own eyes, it comes over in railroad cars. So the Homeland Security officers that are supposed to be searching these railroad cars, they come across, they allow them across, they turn their heads, and the CIA pays them or pressures them in some way like they do to allow them to bring across the border railroad cars full of heroin, methamphetamine, guns. Sex trafficking is abound. I mean, that whole underground world came alive to me, and I was involved with it for years. And I can't live a lie anymore, right, and still be an upstanding citizen, and I am. And I don't do any drugs anymore since then. And I was face down in a pool of death. I was in bad shape. And I have compassion for everybody that uses fentanyl because they don't have a choice. They're addicted to fentanyl. And the JAMA, the Journal of American Medical Association's Journal of Medicine, that's accepted in the Supreme Court as law, it says that An addict will continue to use that drug until they have a spiritual experience profound enough to change their wicked ways. That's what they say. It happened to me, but it doesn't happen to everybody, and it takes sometimes it takes someone's whole life before they get that experience.
And why do you think, in your point of view, why do you think the CIA is not stopping fentanyl from coming across the border?
Well, that is a loaded question. See, I don't know motives, but I can tell you this, that the 1%, they have something to do with it. They fund the CIA, and the CIA, they go out and they pressure people. They pressure the Supreme Court justices, the ones that I have to go and plead my case to. I got better pressure. I'm going to wake up the middle class, just like in France. The bourgeoisie will be awakened here. The middle class will wake up. They will see the truth that COVID-19 was not the deadliest virus known to man. And fentanyl it fuels all of the violence and all of the horrible living conditions in the homeless shelters that are illegally funded by HUD. And I say illegally funded because HUD is a federal grant system.
Yeah.
And it funds the Catholic Community Services Lehigh Project in particular. Hundreds of billions of dollars have been embezzled by the Catholic Church.
Yeah, and I've personally seen Catholic Community Services down at the border, and their blankets are down there.
Oh boy, see, it's all connected, and the Catholics and the cartels, they are all they do their thing.
Yeah, a lot of the
and it's
NGOs
very
are Catholic.
Right here, the Pike and 3rd Street, it used to be like covered. Maybe on that corner, 200, 300 people just on one corner, but now they have moved to Chinatown. I met up with local citizen journalist Jonathan Cho to see what was actually happening.
Yo, that's the guy that was talking to camera.
Chinatown, where they had just moved all of the homeless people, because all of the homeless people can move from one bus stop to another bus stop for completely free using public transportation inside Seattle corridor.
I know Nick has. I don't know who the fucking Chinese.
This is one of the most dangerous. I've had beer bottles thrown at me. I've had people brandish knives.
How's it going?
I got a friend murdered right now.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
They killed a white dude over there for being actually he's not a white boy, he's a white guy, and he was kind of selling drugs, but he was being totally solid. He was being really impeccable and nice, and he was brandished. He was kind, and he was open, and he defended himself and stuck up for himself, and he disappeared on the other side.
I want you to see what's happening across the street. I don't know if you want to swing it over there.
No idea
Those people are not waiting for the bus. Those people, some are, by the way, and that's the sad part, right? You got some Asian grandmas waiting for those. Then the other homies, they're selling stolen goods, they're smoking fentanyl, they're passed out, and they don't like cameras, bro. I mean, let me show you something. We've been complaining about not seeing enough cops. Look at that. You got one officer for this entire corridor. You think this one cop just watching is going to be able to handle this mess that you're about to look at right across the street? This is insanity. We're going in. I mean, look at this, man.
Look at that. Oh my gosh.
It's a horde of people, just addicts. All of that has been moved from downtown 3rd and Pike, right? It was clear. It's all been moved here. Do you see how easily they get here? Did anyone ask us to pay for the bus? Nope. We just jumped on.
Oh.
And it just brought us here. A concierge service for drug addicts. That's what it's become.
So right now what we are seeing is everybody that used to be on 3rd and Pike are now here on 12th and Jackson. Wow, we got a little black market going on right over here.
Wait till I'm looking for Pokemon cards or Legos. That's what I'm always looking for. Pokemon cards or Legos. For collectors out there, you know how expensive those are. You can get those here for pennies on the dollar.
Wow, we got people out here just scratching
But
legs.
Legos just got weird.
Man, what was this guy doing,
Their
man?
new fucking.
Oh no.
What the hell?
It's crazy, man. You got the fentanyl full.
Yep.
Hey, bro, you okay, man?
You all right?
The moment the sun goes down, I do not advise you guys to go into that horde.
No.
Only do it while there's light. That means we have 10 minutes.
We got 10 minutes.
Go.
Here we go.
Like
How you guys
vampires.
doing? Can we talk to anybody here? Nope, they said don't record them. Just keep it on me right now so people don't get upset.
Yo, what's up, dog?
How you doing?
Tarantino or what?
Whoa,
dog?
whoa, whoa,
whoa. Get the fuck off the block, motherfucker.
I'm getting out. Holy frick. Wow. All right, well. Hey, he's got a stick. He's got a stick. Oh my gosh. Holy cow.
Nick, you should be thankful that the dude didn't, bust out his shank.
Or a needle.
And look at that. There's a fire going right there.
Oh my
What the fudge is this? How do you run a business? That's why a coalition of business owners, mom and pop business owners, are in the process of class action litigation against the city of Seattle. They're trying to run a business, and then you have this madness.
Yeah. I'm gonna look
How you
into
doing,
that.
sir?
I'm gonna have time after this.
Is this normal night here in Seattle? Fire on the side of the building?
Sure is. Hey,
Sure
turn that
is.
shit off.
We got the police with us now. Frick, I don't want to get attacked again. Okay. There we go.
Whoa! Whoa!
See, did you see that assault, Nick? That lady assaulted me. She's knocked down my camera, but she's running. I don't even think it's worth it. Look, do I want her to go to prison, jail? No, absolutely not. She's just some tweaker who needs help. But at the same time, we can't be assaulted out here. Dude, you and I were nearly assaulted. I got assaulted.
Yeah.
This happens regularly because they don't want their bad behavior shown. But here's the reality. We have to keep exposing this because it's also the only way we can hold our elected officials accountable. Because if we don't show these public policy failures, our elected officials...
He's done. But they're not held accountable. Sometimes they're praised.
That leaders are telling police to have more of a hands-off approach when it comes to dealing with public drug use.
KIRO 7's Jason Salas is live downtown right now. And Jason, you have been working all day to get some clarification on this. So what did you find out?
Well, it's definitely a little hazy on what the intended message is with that policy. And today, the mayor and police chief were not all that eager to help clear things up. The Seattle Police Department battling what it calls misinformation about policy on public drug use. Sunday night, the Seattle Police Officers Guild released a statement implying the city is telling officers to not arrest people for open drug use, saying the recent naive, ignorant political decision to not arrest offenders for open drug use in the city of Seattle is horrifically dangerous and will create more death and societal decay. Monday, SPD sent us an email saying its policy on public drug use has not changed. But a New Year's email from Chief Sean Barnes explains all charges related to drug possession and or drug use will be diverted from prosecution to the Law Enforcement Assisted Diversion or LEAD program, which is designed to redirect low-level offenders in King County from the criminal justice system into supportive social services. Mayor Katie Wilson also released a statement saying, "You'll know when I announce a policy change because I'll announce a policy change."
As the city attorney.
But at Monday's swearing in for new city attorney Erica Evans, Chief Barnes declined to talk with us, and the mayor was not in the mood to clarify the confusion when we pressed her.
I think we're not doing interviews right now. Thank you.
You're the mayor.
Can you expand on what this brought about?
Not right now.
But the new city attorney had this to say.
Officers still have the discretion to make arrests. What we're just saying is we're going to follow the law, and the law says that folks that are arrested for using drugs in public, they should be put into LEAD or a diversion program or model to make sure that they're not back out on the streets again.
Into a program that will help kick it.
Andrea Suarez, founder of We Heart Seattle, an organization focused on city cleanup and drug intervention, says the city's moving in the wrong direction with a diversion program that doesn't deliver.
I believe this sends a message that, again, to come to Seattle for a drug-friendly culture with not a lot of accountability and teeth to arrest and prosecution.
It's funny.
Now, the mayor and chief of
Portland tried that, and now they're like, you know what? My bad. We're not doing that anymore.
police both said they will talk more about this, but did not say when that will be.
On a green screen?
Reporting in downtown Seattle, Jason Sloss, KIRO 7.
I hope I didn't fucking...
New tonight, city leaders insist allegations that the Seattle Police Department will no longer arrest people suspected of open drug use in Seattle are not true. They call the allegations misinformation.
Anyway.
Yeah, got a show for y'all. Got a damn good show. Jasmine Crockett on The View talking about her, how she's going to win the Senate seat in Texas. Check this out.
So, hello.
Hi.
Nice to see you.
It's good to see y'all.
So, now last month you shook everybody up. You shook up the Texas Senate race by announcing your candidacy. Texas hasn't elected a Democrat statewide in, they say, 30 years. So tell everyone why you feel that's not going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to say it's not going to be a problem. But I will tell you that I plan to
Remember,
get it done.
She said she does... Is it her? She said it. She doesn't need Trump voters to win. She doesn't need Trump voters to win.
Listen, I am used to being underestimated
You know, people that know my story.
Ain't nobody underestimating you. You just overestimating yourself. You're nuts.
Know that I actually only won by 90 votes to get to the state house. And as a freshman, I was handpicked by my predecessor to then go to the U.S. House. Listen, what I did is I evaluated the numbers. The numbers are clear that we can win. Texas is a non-voting state. We are one of the lowest voter turnout states in the entire country, with only about a little bit more than 50% of people turning out to vote. We are also a majority minority state. So for
So out of that 50%, how many can actually are old enough to vote? Out of those who are old enough to vote, how many of those are like legit?
everybody is like, well, she running for Senate and she black. Yes, I am. I am.
I never said that.
And there are 3 million black voters. Actually, 4.
Right? 4 million black voters.
We have more African Americans in the state of Texas than any other state. End of the day, the way that I govern is I govern for the people, regardless of my race. And then there are
I can't believe she just said that. Regardless of my race. You think she could govern white people? Nope. You can't even govern for black people. Yeah. Oh, woman, what is wrong with you, man? What is wrong with the black woman's mind?
people like, well, it's women, and you know how people feel about women. Let me tell you about the state of Texas. The state of Texas has already had 2 women governors. To be clear.
And Richards.
Our first one was in the 1930s, to be clear. And
What does the 1930s got to do with this? Were their names changed since 1930? Were their names Jasmine Crockett? Were they 2
Davy
loud black
Crockett.
women?
She's a descendant of Davy Crockett. Ooh, you got some explaining to do.
Black women? No, they were not. No. I don't think America has a problem with gender, like women. Right. I don't think so. It's just the women that ran for president, they suck. Yeah, Clinton, Hillary won the popular vote. Yeah. Yeah. So it's just all the women candidates, they really suck hard.
And one of the best known senators from the state of Texas is actually a woman, woman Republican. So like, let's just stop with like what we think. I want to be clear that a lot of people.
She wants to govern for all the people, but she stated she's, black. And then she's like, well, there's also one that's already there, and she's a woman. So it's identity. It's identity.
People haven't put their numbers up, and I haven't put mine up for a good reason, because I'm playing for keeps. But let me.
You're not putting your numbers out there because you're not going to. Whoever's donating to your campaign, you might as well call it you might as well call you a non-pro. Well, you should be, that's a charity giving you money. Yeah. Because you shouldn't expect anything in return.
Tell you that I know how to evaluate and I know how to win races. So I will say that, and I will also say that the front runner in this race was Colin Allred, someone that I served with. After I got my number.
Front runner for the Democrat nomination?
I did call him as well as the other person in this race.
So you're running against him?
I told them that I would share my numbers with them privately. I did not get asked for those numbers. And I will say that Colin Allred,
I know why
at the end of
privately.
This race, in my opinion, will be one of the heroes. Because as the Democratic nominee last time, he decided to step aside because he felt like what mattered was getting the best person across the finish line. And in this moment, it wasn't about him as an individual. He felt like I was ready and that I could get it done.
That's real.
That's what Republicans do. This is something new for Democrats. Yeah, but already you're an idiot if you think this is the one. Yeah, maybe she's just pumping up her base.
Is an idiot.
Because you're not fit to be a senator in Texas. Maybe New York City. Maybe Los Angeles. I mean, you fit right in with your district. Maybe Chicago, yeah. Yeah, with the House, because you had a big black audience, citizen base there, but.
A red
that same vein, and you still have one other challenger, James Tallarico, state representative, who I believe you served with.
Yes.
But some Democrats worry that your reputation as an anti-Trump resistance leader could hurt you in deep red Texas, where he won by double digits. Some Republicans came out of the gate saying, this was a gift and the greatest thing. How do you, and there's also been reporting that the NRSC even put your name into the field in polls to try to drive up your polling support so you'd get into the race. How do you respond to those concerns, and are you ready to take them on?
I'm absolutely ready. I wouldn't have got in the race otherwise. And the reason that we started...
You guys saw she answered her question? It was like rude. Yeah.
Well, that's the way she
Wasn't that
always
rude? Look at her face. Look at her face. It's like, wow. That came off rude. Came off like Kamala Harris. Just came off rude. You in that bright yellow suit. I mean, I think her smirk says it all. I think watch this. I'm going to play that again.
On to those concerns, and are you ready to take them on?
I'm absolutely ready. I wouldn't have got in the race otherwise. And the reason that we started with the video that you saw is because I knew that the attacks were coming. And the point is, I will remain cool as a cucumber, and I will smile at the end. That is why that video looked that way. I will also say that I did not rely on NRSCC to make my decision. I spent a lot of money on my own polling to make sure that I could evaluate it, and we actually tested in a very different way. One of the reasons that polls have...
Wait, campaign funds go to paying for polling? I didn't know that. I thought the media already did that for them.
Consistently been inaccurate when it came down to Donald Trump is because he's able to excite a different group of people that no one ever counts on. And so what we did is we wanted to evaluate whether or not we could expand the electorate, because if the electorate remains the same electorate that it's been for the last 30 years, we'll get the same results. So the only way to win is to actually expand it. But
she's talking about galvanize a bunch of stupid black people. You know what I think she's talking about? She's trying to galvanize people that don't vote. Yeah, the liberal. Yeah, that doesn't vote. The progressive, yeah. And you're not going to be able to galvanize those people. Yeah. Even Republicans can't galvanize those people. It's just a certain demographic. I think nationwide, I think around 40 to 50% of people just don't vote because they don't see it. It's not going to change anything.
Honestly, the vast majority of pundits will tell you, well, you got to go get Trump voters. Well, here's the reality. I think that there are a lot of Trump voters that are actually upset about their vote for Trump because he is not delivering, number one, on his promises. So we can start there.
Well, they're not electing Trump, you fucking monkey. All right? They're not electing Trump. Trump's not going to be running in 2028. People still thinking running with that. What do they get from supporting Trump now? Right? They may not like Trump's policies, but they're still conservative. Did you forget that part? Why would I be like, you know what? I'm not going to vote for the Republican because I don't agree with what Trump's doing. So I'm going to switch my vote to a Democrat congressman. That doesn't really affect, and you know what? Let's do it. Let's do it. That's how it works. I don't like what one guy did, so I hate the entire party. Right? Right? That's like me. Tom Brady left the fucking Patriots for money? Man, fuck the Patriots. No, I'm a Patriots fan. I think that analogy worked. I kind of lost train of thought trying to... whatever.
You mentioned the economy and affordability is not really great right now. So
it's never been great. It's never been great under Biden. You go back to the 70s, man. They've been bitching about this for like decades. Inflation. Everything's so expensive. Yeah. No president can fix that. Yeah, I wonder when Trump says it, he's lying. When a Democrat says it, he's lying. The only way you can overcome inflation is get a higher paying job or improve your professional skills and get better paying jobs. That's the only way. Yeah, Trump can't just snap his fingers. That should be obvious to everybody. But what Trump has did, I don't know if you can really credit Trump this, inflation is not as bad as it was when Biden was in office. Right.
think that there are a lot of people that, number one, want to make sure that there is somebody that will check him on their behalf. As a Texan, I can tell you we do trade big in Texas. But guess who's messed that up? Donald Trump. As a Texan, I can tell you that we do agriculture big, and I served on the Ag Committee. As a Texan, I can tell you that some of those folk are upset. Right now, there's been a lot of talk about how there's the Tyson plant that shut down in Nebraska. Let me tell you, Amarillo, Texas, where they process beef for Tyson, they are about to shut down as well. So let me tell you, at the end of the day, people will have to make a decision. I'm not asking people to become my best friend. And as I used to campaign for the vice president,
think about it. She's
I would
gonna
go
run on a, well, we're not Donald Trump. That's not a policy. That's not making the country better, in my opinion. Just like when my fucking Mike Epps, he got Trump's nomination. I don't give a shit.
to a lot of churches, and I'd ask them to raise their hand if they love their spouses, and they would raise their hand. And I'd say, do you always agree with them? Yeah, that's the kind of response we would normally get. Listen, it's not about whether or not you agree with someone 100% of the...
You just got your argument. They may not agree with Trump 100%, right? You just did it yourself.
time. It's about, do you have the strength to stand in this moment? And right now, the people are looking for real leaders that are going to fight for them.
Yes.
She's a leader.
Yeah, right. And you're one of them.
She's a leader. How is she a leader?
Well, by definition.
I mean, what are you going to do different than what the Republicans are doing?
There's a pride, purpose,
I mean,
direction,
of course, there's going to be some people that's not happy with Trump. There's no such thing as a perfect presidency. Yeah. But they're not going to vote for a Democrat.
So I want to just say one thing about you, because I think you clearly trigger the base, Trump, and also the vice president. Let's watch this clip.
You don't trigger the base. It's like, we love to hear you talk.
Yeah. We do.
You're shooting the Democrat Party in the foot. Like Mom Donnie up in New York.
Shit, what was it?
That is great that a Democrat socialist became mayor in New York, because it's going to expose these fools. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
The more she opens her mouth, the more you actually campaigning for Republicans. Exactly.
Jasmine Crockett. Oh, Jasmine Crockett. The record speaks for itself.
Yep.
She wants to be a senator, though her street girl persona is about as real as her nails.
Yeah. Even the thing in military. In the militaries provide purpose, direction, motivation. It's a leader. According to this, it's a person who aims to inspire people and motivates them towards a goal. Congressmen aren't leaders. They're not.
Go ahead. Here's your chance. Respond.
Okay, so first of all, my nails are real.
Wait a minute.
I'm sorry?
Nails are real? Hold on.
No way.
It might be real. He should have went for eyelashes. Yeah, that's low hanging fruit right there.
But I will say, what a lot of people don't understand, and Alyssa, you can help me out with this, is that Republicans are a lot better at doing focus groups, right? And so Democrats, we rely on like poll, but focus groups allow you to kind of get down to the nitty gritty of like why people feel a certain way about certain things. Well, I can tell you that right now, what disturbs them is that I am able to get at a demographic that Democrats have been losing. Consistently in third-party polls, as well as my internal polling, it shows that those that don't have a college degree, by over 70%, choose me. Well, that's a demographic that we've been losing without, so now he's like, oh, no, it's all fake. Like, don't believe that. No, the reality is that I was a criminal defense attorney. I was a public defender. I am somebody who walked into plenty of jails.
So a lot of people stay in jail.
Yeah,
she was a criminal defense attorney. I mean, I will convict your client just way you talk. I bet there's a lot of innocent people in jail. As soon as you get to talk, say, I'm going to convict his ass. That's his attorney? Or I'm sending him straight to jail. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have no respect for... Majority of attorneys, they're just snakes. Yeah, and criminal attorneys, you're just a professional liar. You help get off murderers and rapists and all this. Yeah, it kind of shows her mentality. Yeah, I couldn't be a criminal defense. But you need it for our judicial system, you know. Yeah. Yeah, this woman, I don't know. She said she's actually grabbing a demographic that doesn't have a college degree. Yeah. They always poke fun at Trump's base. Like we're dumb and we're not educated. Right. And she says she's grabbing that. I don't believe that. You might be grabbing the uneducated black vote. Yeah. Maybe that's skewing the numbers. But your lingo and jargon is it's not going to resonate with anybody. Moderate, Republican, or it just you. What's the word she used? She said she was calling a Republican Party. We're not trying to get with the Republican Party because y'all the KKK. It's just the stuff you said is just you have absolutely no chance.
Oh, that's it. How did I guess I was going to be high enough to where I was ready to finish anyway? I'm glad I don't donate to any politician. I'm just curious, like, how Colin Allred, who's been in that seat for a while, but he would be like, you know what? Me in the Senate. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Now that pretty much gets rid of that other guy that she was competing for in the House because they redistricted that. But I don't know. I think Colin Allred might actually have a better chance of beating her. I mean, he's got more of a actual name to himself that's not a loudmouth. Like, she's the Black Marjorie Taylor Greene. Yes. And they're both going to get jobs in The View. Well, yeah, because I think The View is hiring a conservative again. I just can't remember what the name was. Or if I even, was paying attention. Maybe it was Benny Johnson being a retard and it was background noise. Anyway. 22 days. 22 days. And this is what's been on the hidden back burner. 22 days until the government shuts down again. Because they haven't been working on a budget. They're going to wait till the last minute and be like, we need to do another continuing resolution. But they won't have time because they'll be doing committees on fraud, which it's good to hear for the people to know. But really? Great. We know nothing's going to happen. Come on. It's quite obvious. And now they're talking about Maduro might not be convicted of all his charges. Whatever, man. Whatever. It's crazy. We live in a crazy world. Crazy. Anyway, I'm not telling you how to think. What's this? Oh, press briefing. Anyway, I'm not telling y'all how to think, because that would just be insane. And if I did, that would also be pretty funny. But I am telling you to think. And I think it's time for me. I'm hungry. That's what I've been looking for. Hungry. Oh yeah, haven't I?